Press conference. Robert Salah. Practice today. Becton gets beat by Lawson. Good for Lawson. Bad for Becton. Pitch count. Tweaks. Muscle tightness. We're going to talk about it all. What do you think so far about today's training camp and Robert Salah's press conference? Nick Shine.
What's up, buddy?
Oh, yeah. Hi.
It's. I thought this would be a cool idea for us, right?
Wow.
Like, let's hop on. Let's discuss right after practice. Let's get into it. Coming out today, some of the notes that I had before practice or during practice, you mentioned first day of pads, Will McDonald beats Becton. Lawson beat him twice in a row, they said. Lazard was out today with a sleeve on his leg. Izzy broke a 50-yard touchdown. Like you said, Becton's on a pitch count, which is good, right? Let's ease him back into it. Sauce had an interception of Rodgers. And it looked like there was a miscommunication. Rodgers was checking before the snap, and somebody may have ran the wrong route. So, interesting day. Most important thing, as we know, no injuries. So we got through a day, nothing major, no announcements with that, right? So, yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, look, it's good that McDonald's on the field. I was a little concerned last week about that. You don't want your rookie to miss too much of what's going on in training camp. The fact that he got the sack is good. I think the problem with training camp is that every time someone does something good, it usually has somebody doing something not good. And if it's an incredible catch, that's like the best scenario. Well, Wilson, Garrett Wilson against Sauce Gardner, but it's not really bad because he had to make this miracle catch because Sauce had him covered so well. You want the medal to be like, that shows really good metal on metal. The fact that, like the other day, Garrett Wilson had to make this incredible catch because the coverage was there. So you don't really have a critique. The problem with the sacks is you hear Lawson, it feels really good. He's getting sacks and he's back maybe to the form he was 2 years ago before the Achilles. But at the same time, that comes at the expense of Becton, which has to give us concern there.
Yeah, you're right. And, I mean, we got to look at it this way, too. Lawson was rusty last year when he came back, right? It wasn't like the Lawson that we expected right away. So Becton is basically in the same situation. He missed pretty much the entire year. He had a week or two of practice coming off a previous injury. So it's going to take Becton time to get back. I don't know if it happens here. I'll be completely honest with you. Salah threw out some praise towards Max Mitchell at the end of the press conference. And it makes sense to me that you take it slow with Becton. You have Brown, who, from all indications, should be your left tackle. Coaches are very loyal with guys who they've went to battle with previously. And they've gone to battle together before with Brown. So from my standpoint, I'm not shocked in any way, shape, or form if there's calls being made for Becton. I don't think Joe's going to shop him, but Joe has said, we're going to take every call that comes in.
Right.
Becton gets healthy. Becton looks better. Somebody else has an injury go down. You take a flyer on a guy. And now add this to it. We didn't pick up his fifth-year option. Get something in return. If you know you're not going to sign him long-term because of the knee injuries and the concerns that you have, you're not giving him a big contract, right? It's too much injury risk. 2 injuries to the same knee. Nobody's going to put big investment into that. Let somebody else make that mistake. Get a little bit in return. If we could get something like a 4 or a 5 that moves up to a 3 with playing time for Becton, sign me up. I'm all in. I'd hate to see him go. I would always wonder what if. He might have great success somewhere else. But I think in terms of where we are and what we're doing, get rid of it now.
I mean, I wouldn't want to give up on Becton so soon. I mean, I understand if the phone rings and the offer is too good. Like, I don't want to overreact to one day today. And you said it earlier. I mean, it took Lawson time. I don't know that Becton won't in 2 weeks from now
Yeah.
perform. And the other thing is, I mean, if he continues to struggle with pass blocking defense, then you're going to start looking at more right tackle, which there's less, obviously less of a need as far as being perfect than when you're on the left side, right? So
Yeah.
let's assume that Becton does struggle against the pass blocking, but then moves over to the right side, and for a right tackle is fine, but his dominance against the run on the right side, right? With him and with AVT are like, it's not that I'm worried about the future. I mean, I want to win now this year. And if Becton by the end of camp can prove that he gives us the best offensive line, then I don't want to do it for a draft pick because I want to win now. But if he continues to struggle all through camp, then I get it. Because if he's not going to be the start, like if he's not winning one of the starting jobs anyway,
Yeah.
I get it. But
Yeah.
if he's clearly the best right tackle on the team in a
that's
few years
different.
from now, then we have to keep him. Yeah.
I just don't think he will be.
Okay.
I just don't think he will be. I think that you're trying to win now, but you're also got to keep a little bit of an eye down the road, right? And I've been a big Becton fan. I was rooting for him last year coming back. I just think it's feasible. I don't think it's definite. I'm not rooting for it, but I'm not against it if it happens. You follow me?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying trade him. I'm just saying I'm not shocked if that announcement comes. If that tweet comes in, I'm not surprised in any way, shape, or form.
Right. Of course not.
When you look at the long term of the team, we've drafted Mitchell, we've drafted Warren, we've drafted mid-round guys that we can coach up to eventually evolve into the starting positions. You still have Brown there this year. You brought in Turner from Green Bay. There's guys on the roster who can compete and can play. Yeah. Also, it's a two-tier prediction in a way, right? Because now, in my opinion, when Vegas comes out to a really shitty start, what happens? You make a call for Devontae Adams, and now you have that extra couple million that you moved Becton out on. And then you have money to go maybe make a trade. And now you bring in Devontae with Garrett Wilson and Rodgers. So it's a two-tier prediction. I'm shooting for the moon, but that's the fun part about predictions, right? Like, I could see it happening. I could see things falling apart. I could see Jimmy G not being a guy to get the ball to Devontae everywhere he needs. And Devontae saying, I want out. This is the only place I'll go.
I mean, anything is possible. As far as being shocked, there's a bunch of things that wouldn't shock me. Like there's a bunch of things. If Corey Davis, for example, I don't expect this. I don't expect it. And I'm not saying I want it. But if I was to read Corey Davis was traded for blah, 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 it wouldn't shock me. It would surprise me a little bit, but it wouldn't shock me. Now, what really wouldn't surprise me or shock me is Becton would not shock me. I might just be disappointed personally as a big Becton fan. I would be disappointed in, like you said before, you even said concerns. Like, did we just make a big mistake? Is this guy going to be a beast? And we just, acted too soon. I would not be surprised if Michael Carter was traded, the running back. I would not be surprised at all. I'm not saying I want it, but why would I be surprised by that? I mean, so far, everybody that's opened their mouth or tweeted or did anything that was at all suspect is gone. Two guys demanded trades at one time or another. They're gone. Yeah. Michael Carter put out some concerning tweets that he wasn't happy after Elijah Moore was traded, and also about not wanting to get a running back. If we were to sign Dalvin Cook and then read that Michael Carter was traded, how would we be shocked?
I'm not. If Cook comes in, I think Carter is the odd man out. Real quick, while we got everybody here and active in the chat, I just want to add, I'm dropping the link to my stream. Jeremy and I are going to do a post-press conference summary every day. We're going to be hopping on during the week. I added my link. We're going to alternate back and forth between our two channels every day and give you some coverage during the day. So if you haven't already, for those of you that are, I appreciate it. But those new to me in here, hop over to my channel, and we're going to be going live every day. As soon as Robert Salah ends his press conference, you're going to see our two beautiful faces. East Coast, West Coast love connection, baby, going on here. But yeah, I could see Carter Carter's been my prediction for the odd man out. Izzy had a 50-yard something touchdown run today. Bam Knight does something nobody else does, right? And if you bring in Cook, I think Cook is an upgrade from Carter. And,
Yeah,
and you don't need so many guys. Like your running back room is nowadays like your bullpen in baseball. You need all different guys who do different things to complement one another for different situations.
Yeah,
and I could see Carter being the odd man out.
Look, and I know it's only the first day of training camp, but when you hear something like Izzy breaks out a 55-yard touchdown run, it's hard not to be excited because that's what he did in college.
Yeah.
That was who he was. He's a home run hitter. He was the fastest running back coming into the out of the draft. Fastest running back in the nation, and not fast where he's a small guy that's not powerful. He's strong. He's powerful. He was good in goal lines. He was good on 3rd and 1s, 4th and 1s for Pittsburgh. They used him in power situations. He definitely was a guy who has, like some had ranked the number 2 or the number 3 best running back in the draft. And that's saying something because we know we had 2 very outstanding, running backs come out of this year's draft. They were both drafted in the top 15 picks or so. And then when you say a lot of people saying he's number 2 or 3, that's kind of exciting. It's kind of exciting where we got him. And it's certainly better than not hearing anything. Like, I know we don't want to jump the gun, but when you hear 55-yard touchdown, first day in pads, you start to think maybe, JD did it again. Maybe he struggled with this kid and got us a real high-quality running back.
I keep thinking of Robert Salah's quote the day that he got hired as head coach. We're going to build a fast team. Speed creates pressure, pressure bursts pipes. You're looking at this team and you're looking at all different aspects of it, all the different positions, and you see speed everywhere.
Yep.
So, boys, again, sauce just for a rookie to learn the playbook takes time. Since his mind must have been swimming. Yeah, Ollie, I think I said it with you, Jeremy, that Izzy is my prediction since he's got the extra game. Excuse me. To lead the NFL in preseason rushing yards. Hall's not going to get many carries. Carter and Knight are going to get some, but Izzy's going to be your second half guy along with some other guys who might not make the roster. But Izzy's going to get a ton of work due to Hall being out and doing the main guy's not getting a lot of reps. He's going to be the, get your feet wet, learn all the plays. Let's see what you do well. Let's see what we need to work on. And I think he's going to be that star of the preseason that fans are going to really love really quickly.
Yeah, I can imagine the first 2 or 3 drives of the game in the preseason, you see a mix of Knight and Carter. And then for quarters 2, 3, maybe even part of 4, you're going to see Izzy. You're going to see him definitely. He's going to carry the load. He'll probably play at least 2 quarters of each game.
Yeah.
And have the most opportunities of any running back on a team. There'll be some guys behind him that we never hear of and we'll never hear of again.
Yeah.
And then I think, Breece Hall probably will not touch the ball this preseason.
No.
And then Michael Carter and Bam Knight will be treated like starters. They're going to touch the ball, very little. And maybe one of the games they'll have like a full quarter between the 2 of them to share carries. That would be my expectation. But we're not going to put ourselves in a situation where as long as he's a jet for Carter and Bam Knight, I mean, I think those are the 2 guys right now. And if we don't sign, because Cook is not a jet right now, I think at the moment, those are the 2 guys that are going to be probably the favorites to be filling in for Hall as he ramps up and comes back from the injury.
Oh, that's a giant tweet. Rich Samini. Michael Carter in a press conference right now acknowledges he didn't have a good 22 season, but promises a rebound. I know what I'm capable of. You'll see. Says he was a little too emotional last year, adding that he was taken aback when they traded for James Robinson. So I like the honesty.
Yeah. Well, look,
I'll leave it at that for now. I like the honesty. I like the self-assessment. I'm very big on that lately in my own life. So you got to self-assess, see where you're at. How do you get better? So I appreciate his honesty. I just want to see him a little quicker getting through the hole. Like, you can admit that you may have been down, but man, these holes in the NFL, you got to hit them quick. You got to hit them powerful. You got to get there or it closes quick. So just,
No,
I like in space, he can dip and get low and make people wait. But when you're in between the tackles, put your damn head down and go, man.
Yeah, I like the fact that what he said, like what you're reading right now, what he's saying, you can't ask. I mean, the only thing better we could ask for is it never happened at all, and he finished the year strong and great. But you can't ask for a better press conference right now, and you can't ask for better than what he's saying right now, because he is acknowledging everything that we were concerned about. The fact that he's able to get up and say, "I was too emotional," like I got taken aback. That's really, really a positive thing, because by accepting that, because there's so many players, like, I mean, let's take the worst example, the guy who's the extreme polar opposite in Antonio Brown. He'll never admit it. Like he's never going to admit I was totally wrong on that sideline. And what I did was completely unreasonable. And, he never apologized for anything. The incident in Miami with the truck, with the U-Haul guys or whatever, like he never acknowledged anything or took any accountability. And right now, like this Michael Carter statement is pretty much the opposite of that. It's like what you were just saying. It's 100% accountability. And it doesn't mean he's going to be great on the field. It doesn't mean we forget that he did it. It means that we could be just happy that at least he's saying the right things right now at the moment. And that's a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Something I want to bring up here that K. Yeti just said.
Sure.
I cannot agree more with this statement.
Yeah.
I cannot agree more. I would get this tattooed on me. I'm happy with whatever decisions are made by the organization. I can't remember having so much faith in management. I don't know how old you are, but I keep referencing when Bill Parcells was running the team. That was the last time that you knew good things were going to happen, the right players are going to play, and that there's going to be no BS. And with between JD in the front office and Salah in the front and ownership staying out of the way and letting Joe run his organization, we're in a good position. And I love Joe, and I want to give Rex credit too, his assistant, the assistant GM. I think these two guys. Oh, Smitty's young. Smitty doesn't know Parcells. Go to Google, Smitty, when you get time. Go to Google after you're done watching here, Smitty. Thank you for joining. But when you're done, go hit Google for a little bit and learn about Parcells. You'll have some fun.
What was he?
You'll hear a lot of quotes that coaches aren't allowed to say anymore publicly about players.
When was Smitty born? 2003.
I think he's 22, 23. Yeah, okay. I think. So Parcells may have been gone. He was in Dallas or something by the time Smitty got involved. K. Eddie's 47. Yeah, so you'd probably agree with me, right? Like you have to go back to when Parcells was coaching and running the front office that we were this confident as fans. Unfortunately, it was a very small window. But when you look at the team now, I don't have any complaints. Which is weird for a Jet fan, right? Like our biggest complaint is we're worrying about Denzel Mims as a 6 getting traded, and he could have been something. All right. He wasn't anything here. So we can't, like, people are going nuts on Twitter and in the Facebook Jets groups about Denzel Mims.
And literally within 12 hours, we're watching Brownlee make a catch that Mims would never make. Mims was dropping easy passes, and this kid out of nowhere, undrafted free agent, goes up and makes this beautiful catch. And everybody, and it's not just out of nowhere. People have been talking this kid up, Brownlee, since we signed him.
Yes.
People have been saying this was a big pickup. So, I mean, right away, you're talking about a guy who is going to compete against Mims for the job anyway. Yeah. And right away, he starts to show you why. So, and the room that everybody was so worried about, the linebacker room. And then we have Mosley come in there, right? Our most trusted captain, the guy you could trust the most in a press conference and what he says. And he says he expects Jamie and Sherwood to have a breakout season and to be the guy that shocks everybody in the linebacker position. So, I mean, then what does that leave? Safety. And then you start hearing all this talk about Tony Adams and how well he's doing. So even in the places we're concerned, we're getting good news.
I want to add to what you said with Quinnen bringing up JJ Adams on the back end, Sherwood. You can't, and Jets fans have been infatuated with this from the poor drafting that we've done, is bringing in guys with big contracts year after year. if you want to be a defense like the 49ers, you got to find guys in the middle round. You want to be a top 5 defense every single year. Some guys you're going to have to let go because you can't afford to pay them. And you're going to have to coach up and bring in the next guy, a JJ, a Clemens, Sherwood, Adams, Michael Carter at nickel. You need these mid-round undrafted guys who pop up. I know JJ was a 1, but the other guys, mid to late rounders or undrafted, who are going to have prominent roles on this team. Max Mitchell at tackle. Izzy in the backfield. Future Carter Warren at tackle. You're going to have guys who start that you need making $400,000 or $500,000 a year. You can't have $5 million players at every starting position. It just doesn't work. Robert Salah keeps finding ways to describe Aaron Rodgers. The guy glows in the dark. He's a pretty good quarterback. Nice little Darkness Retreat reference by Salah there. I'm catching up here with some of the tweets coming in.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to, just update everybody on some of the things that was said, because that's what we'll be doing here for those that are new. Every day when the Robert Salah press conference ends, you'll see our 2 beautiful faces popping on. We're going to alternate days between the Jets Lounge here with Jeremy and my channel, Proud New York Jets Fans. So Grandizer, if you're still here, throw those out there. Throw mine out there if you don't mind, sir. If not, I think I could paste it again. But yeah, it's going to be fun, man. Talking every day, seeing what comes up and seeing the positional battles. Let's dive into center a little bit. He gave Connor McGovern a little praise, saying, he's a professional at the position. He knows what it takes to succeed in the NFL. Gave Schweitzer a little love, and then Tippmann coming along saying, it's his first practice in pads. Let's ease on the expectations a bit. But I really am excited. I think Tippmann, as you know from our show that we did when we discussed Hard Knocks, I think Tippmann and the mullet could take on its own phenomenon between football fans or amongst football fans throughout the nation. I'm really excited to see Tippmann, his size, his speed, his girth. That's what she said. Thank you, Grandizer. I'm very, very excited to see what he brings to the table. Whenever I said it pre-draft, and I'll always say it, whenever you draft a center from the Big 10 or the Big 12 or Big 10, I'm sorry, you're getting a 2-3 year veteran in the NFL, because what you go up against practice every day from day one are guys going to the NFL. What you're going up against every week in these games are guys going to the NFL. So you're battling against NFL linemen every rep you take when you're a center in the Big Ten. When you're from Iowa, Michigan, Ohio State, Minnesota, no matter where you're from, Wisconsin, you are going to be a very good NFL player, in my opinion. It's one of those can't miss positions. Give me a Big Ten center, and as of late, give me an SEC like cornerback, because you're covering NFL guys every single week.
Yeah, no, it's true. I mean, you want guys who are proven again. It doesn't mean they're going to be great. It doesn't mean it's automatic, but it's certainly more evidence, because when you get a guy from a small school, it doesn't mean they can't be a star, but you lack the evidence. So it's more of a risk, because you don't know what's going to happen when they go against the higher quality guys. So it's always good to have that evidence, right? That resume of, look who I already had to cover. Like Sauce came in and he already had to cover Garrett Wilson in college and Jameson Williams and those guys. So it's just good to have that. And then McGovern, it doesn't surprise me. I mean, look, we've knocked him as Jet fans. A lot of the Jets fan base has knocked McGovern, but we have to remember, McGovern was a top half of the league center, right? He was somewhere in between 10 and 15 in the league at center. So it's not like, because of him, center was not a weakness. It wasn't a strength. He wasn't a powerhouse who created holes, went above and beyond, and got to the second level with amazing blocks. But he was also a solid guy. And most importantly, for the last couple of years, he's been the most available guy, maybe on the entire roster, right? I mean, aside from just being the most available guy in the offensive line, the guy doesn't miss time. He's there. He's trustworthy as far as being there every week to be playing that center position. So if Tippmann beats him out, great on Tippmann. That means we made a great pick, because right away he was able to beat a top of the half of the league center with tons of experience. If he doesn't, we shouldn't panic, but I'd be a little disappointed because I'm hoping that Tippmann is going to be an upgrade right from the start. And it would just worry me. Like, come on, man. I thought this guy was gonna, like we want him to be this all-pro great guy that's gonna like be the next Mawai. I would love to see him win the job in camp and come right out of the gates a great player, like Creed Humphreys did with the Chiefs.
Agreed. Another guy taken in not the first round, but drafted highly for center. A guy that we both wanted. Trying to look. Oh, it's a video. Damn it. The NFL Top 100 90 through 81 just got released, but it's a video. I got to find a tweet to see if any of the Jets made it in there. Tell Quan, Tony Alexio's comment. Tell G to open up his wallet and resign Quan for cheap linebacker insurance.
Not against it.
I'm not against Quan joining the team at all. I just think you're going to see Sherwood get an opportunity to show he's that guy.
Yeah. I mean, if we sign,
I think you are.
If we sign Quan, it would be for insurance. I really think that they want Jamie Sherwood to be the guy. Who knows? Maybe they sign Quan later in camp for that reason. They don't want to create anything. They want Jamie Sherman to prime himself and get ready to start. And then they bring in Quan as the insurance policy. Then he doesn't have to cry when they sign him. If Jamie Sherwood doesn't play well in camp, if he doesn't have a good camp, maybe you sign Quan with the intention of you're going to start. But we need you. If Jamie looks great in camp, then it's just when we sign Quan, it could be under the understanding Jamie has already won the job. You're coming in as depth.
Yeah.
So, and who knows? Maybe that's why he hasn't signed. For all anybody knows, we could be talking to Quan and Quan saying, "Guarantee me I'll have an opportunity to start," and we can't do it.
Yeah. If we were playing a 4-3 and you constantly had the 3 out there, if it was 20 years ago, Quan would be on the team already, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It would take Tittman a minute to shine. Oh, I like the usage, Kev. That's my last name, Shine. Even Linderbaum struggled the first couple of weeks. Great point. I remember we did a show last year, and we did that show with the Baltimore fans. Remember? Yeah. You and I did that show with the 2 Baltimore fans leading up to the game. And they were saying that there was disappointment and Linderbaum was having trouble with the calls and the multitasking at center. But Linderbaum ended up being pretty good. Another Big Ten center, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I think that's definitely you have to give rookies time. I mean, as we said, we'd love to see it. You'd love to see a rookie come in like Sauce Gardner, right, and right away shine, or Garrett Wilson. The first pass they gave it, we were there live in Baltimore when he made that first pass early on, and made everybody look at each other, and they said, "If this
what
guy,
did he just do?
Right, if this guy is not the WR1, but starting next week, we're gonna literally go onto the field and hang LaFleur." I mean, like, because you saw the movie made, you saw you had a special player, but it's no reason to panic if he doesn't. If he comes out and he struggles in the beginning, if he doesn't win the job over McGovern, it doesn't mean he's a bust. It doesn't mean he's not the center of the future. It just means he's more normal, because it is normal for a rookie to come in and struggle a little and have to learn the speed of the game and get stronger out of college. I mean, perfectly normal.
They're going to make mistakes. And the most important thing you can do, especially when you have somebody like Aaron Rodgers behind you who holds everyone to a high standard, is learn from them and don't make the same mistake twice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's the most important thing when you're on that line. You make a mistake, you don't make the same mistake twice. That's how you get your trend going upward. That's how you get more reps. That's how you get the trust of the guys next to you and the guy behind you. And I'm a big fan of Tittman. I think it will be his. I don't know if it's going to be his 2 weeks from now, 2 months from now, a year from now. But I love that we have the options and we have a veteran like McGovern. Excuse me. We have a veteran like McGovern who can step in until he's ready.
Yeah, no, absolutely. The depth of the offensive line is great. It's great that we have McGovern. Snowball says, when do you trust these draft picks? Look, I think that we have to trust the management. We have to trust, like, it's not the fans. Like, we'll talk like, can we trust Sherwood? And fans will say, no, we can't. And people don't want to see things that weren't expected happen. Like, nobody's going to believe, like, there are fans that will never believe in Sherwood or Tony Adams until they see it. until the success is there.
Yeah.
But I just put my trust in Robert Salah, JD, and the entire coaching staff. If we see Tony Adams start the season, I'm going to trust that they saw enough to know and feel and believe that he's ready. If Sherwood starts at linebacker opening day, I'm trusting that they see enough. I know we only saw 40 snaps. 25 snaps from Sherwood. But when you see a guy play 25 scattered snaps, right? Or actually 20, a lot of them were consecutive in one of those games. And 40% of those snaps that they played, they either made the tackle or assisted in the tackle. And 2 or 3 of them were behind the line of scrimmage in just 25 snaps. To me, how are you not, as a Jet fan, screaming to see more of this kid?
I agree. I liked when the young guys come up and develop. I always joke that you're a Met fan, but you follow the Yankees. And I always say that the New York fan, which is all of us, right? I don't know your other sport affiliations, but we absolutely are infatuated with homegrown talent. Of course, Garrett, Sauce, top 10 picks, you expect them to hit. But a guy like Wayne Corbett is the most beloved player in Jet history because he was the guy not expected to do it. We love the underdog story. We love the coming of age story. We love he wasn't a guy at first, but he's been there. Now he's the man. Quinnen, first round pick. We love those guys that don't have the hype, but create their own hype and create their own success. So to see Sherwood come on and be something would be great. Michael Carter in the slot, getting some recognition and guys talking about him and how he could be the best slot corner in the NFL. It's fun to see. Max Mitchell comes on at right tackle and becomes one of the best right tackles in football. We're all gonna love the guy who defied the odds, right?
And it sounds like you were talking with the Yankees too. It's hard not to mention every team could get free agents. Every team could add the whipped cream, right? Everybody, even, and I saw other teams being critical, other fans being critical. Oh, the Yankees spend so much money. No. What made the Yankees a championship team in the 2000s, all the championships they won, look at the core 4. The core 4 were all homegrown drafted talents. The core of that team for all those years was the core 4. And then when you look at some of the additions they made, they weren't the high price guys. Paul O'Neill, Tito Martinez. They found really good role players. Those guys are they're not
Scott
the
Brocious, right?
They're not.
Joe
They're
Girardi, a catcher.
Right. Those are the CJ Reeds. Those are the Carl Lawsons. Those are the Jefferson Woods. Those are those role players, right?
Yeah.
They're not the
David
big
Wells coming in, right?
Yeah.
David Cohn, David Wells. You look at those teams back then, they had the core.
Yeah.
Our core is Quinnen, Garrett, Sauce, AVT. That's our core. Those are our core 4 right now.
Yeah.
That we've drafted, that we know are going to be elite. JJ Breeze can get there too. Yeah, Kevin saying the same exact thing that I was saying. Good comment.
I love it.
So when you look at the team, and let's not forget, I've made this reference on my IOW show where we talk about all sports, that Woody Johnson going over to the UK for 4 years as the ambassador, in my opinion, is the same as George Steinbrenner getting banned for collusion. It allowed Gene Michael to build the team without the crazy owner sending the draft picks away for veterans, right? Like what he did in the 80s. That's when Jeter, Bernie, Posada, Pettit, Mariano, all those guys were drafted when George was banned for collusion and Gene Michael ran the damn team. That's what got them that core. You can look at it and say Woody Johnson going over to the UK, Joe Douglas drafting these guys, building our core is a similar comparison, right? Different circumstances, but we're getting the core built now. We're not trading draft picks away like when Mike Tannenbaum was here with disregard for draft picks just to get veterans left and right.
Yeah, and I don't think we're building a core 4. I think we're building a spectacular 7 because we got because don't forget AVT, AVT is going to be one of those key guys that we drafted and we traded up to get him. Like it's kind of like endless, right? You got Sauce, Garrett Wilson, Brees Hall, JJ, Quinn Williams, AVT. So that's 6. Who's our 7? Who's our guy? Maybe Jeremy Ruckert, right? Maybe it's Jeremy Ruckert. Maybe it's
Who's
Will
had some
McDonald.
nice plays with Rodgers. With CJ not practicing yet, Ruckert has stepped up nicely. That's something to keep an eye on.
Right. And maybe it's Will McDonald, because we haven't even talked about the fact he just beat Becton and got a sack today too. So here's a rookie drafted first practice in pads, and we're reading about him getting a sack. You can't get any better than that. Doesn't get much better.
We're basically building like an all Madden team. I'll take Will McDonald as our Von Miller. We'll have JJ being the powerhouse. He'll be our Bruce Smith on the end.
Yeah.
We got Barry Sanders in the backfield. We got Jerry Rice at wide receiver. We got Revis at corner. Now we're just building an all-pro team. We got Aaron Donald at D tackle.
Right.
It's fun time, man, watching all these guys come up into their own, right? Like it's fun to see us drafting guys. And the Mims story right now is the rarity.
Right.
It's like, okay, we had to get rid of the guy. It didn't work out. And that's fine. It happens. I don't care if Mims goes and has 200 catches this year for Detroit. He didn't do it here. And sometimes you got to cut bait. You got to move on. And guys find success elsewhere.
And then you have guys like Clemens who are like the Mean Joe Green, right? Like maybe not even as a player, but as the attitude. Like Clemens is the attitude. He brings the edge. He brings the toughness. Like, so even if he wasn't, he had a really good rookie year, but even if he didn't, just the toughness, just the edge that he brings, meaning we're not going to get pushed around on the field. Like our players aren't going to get bullied and pushed around. We're going to be the physical team. We're going to be pushing people around. No one's pushing our team around when you have guys like Becton, like Clemens, like
AVT.
And what's his face? Carl Lawson and CJ Mosley. No one's pushing our guys around. These are men. Like these are men's men. And like they're not going to take it. And then you got Sauce Gardner, who's just, he's going to jabber with his mouth and just make people feel stupid.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right.
2 sacks, McDonald.
It's great watching. And you know what the best part about the team is with the chemistry? Something that Joe Douglas had to do when he took over was change the culture, right? We had to get in guys with winning mentalities. We had to get guys, you hear it all the time between him and coach, guys who love football. Guys who love football are always going to be working hard to get better at football, and they're going to bring the guys behind them up to their level. Like you mentioned earlier, Quinnen bringing up JJ, CJ bringing up Sherwood, guys on the back end talking about Adams. You make guys come to your level. You make guys rise. You make guys understand what we do here. This is the way it's done. This is the Jet way now. Sure, it's still in the infant stages of it, right? But you're hearing it. You're seeing it. There's starting to be some motion there, right? All the running backs, Bam Knight, guys who are going to get brought up, guys who are going to get coached up the right way. We got an outstanding offensive line coach. If you can't run, you can't run if you don't block. You can't pass if you don't block. You can't throw if you don't block. You can't score if you don't block. It's something that a coach that I coached with said, and I took his saying over. And every football team I've ever coached, the first day of practice, I tell them that. I don't care who runs. I don't care who scores the touchdown. If we're not blocking as a team, we're not doing anything successful on offense. So everything that we're going to do is based off the line. And you look at the NFL, look at the 2 teams that were in the Super Bowl. You muted yourself with the pup.
Sorry.
It's all right. We're like the Jets, bro. We're a team. We help each other out. You're good. Talk. Nope, you're back on mute. You're off.
Sorry, I'm having a little problem there.
Sometimes you hit the button and it delays, telling you if it's muted or not.
Yeah, I think we should go. I think we should just keep this show going until tonight. Like, let's just keep this going for a couple hours.
Oh, today's
This
Tuesday.
morning's
It'll be
Eve.
till tomorrow night.
I know. Let's go to tomorrow
Oh,
night.
do I
Let's
do a
do
marathon? We've done some marathons. You want to do a 36-hour marathon?
This way I don't have to walk dogs or do anything. I don't have to take care of them. It's like I just see everything going around me, food being delivered to me. I'll order from DoorDash if I have to.
I know your wife likes me, but eventually it'll wear out its welcome. A 36-hour show would probably wear out its welcome.
But seriously, guys, Robert Salah has another press conference tomorrow. We have another practice tomorrow. We're going to go over that tomorrow. Thanks for joining our first, episode of this show, which is basically a Jets training camp, Robert Salah press conference reaction show that we're going to try to do all through the month through training camp. And remember, tomorrow we're going to be broadcasting from Proud New York Jets Fan. That's Nick's channel. Make sure if you have not subscribed to Proud New York Jets Fan, it's written just the way it is on the screen right here. So if you go into YouTube and you just put the little search button and say Proud New York Jets Fan or Proud NYJ, you will see it. It'll pop up. Grandizer is putting the link in there like crazy so you can see it there. It's very easy to find. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the show tomorrow. We'd love to see you over there. Thanks for everybody that came in. We appreciate you being part of today's broadcast. And again, on Proud New York Jets Fan, we'll be back tomorrow. We're looking forward to it. Thanks, everybody, for joining. Nick, you have anything to say and add before we go?
No, you did a great summary. Like you said, come over to my channel. We'll be there. And as soon as Robert Salah ends, we're coming on live. So, and then tomorrow will be our double dipper day. We'll come on in the afternoon, and then you'll see us on the night show too, which is now 8:00 on Wednesdays. So keep an eye out for that. And we'll see everyone tomorrow. Stay healthy, New York Jets.
See everyone. Have a good afternoon.